Hello, everybody. Welcome to another edition of the CM Kozeman Art Streams. We have been away for a while, but let's see how many people are here so far. I was away from Twitch streaming due to a random and unnecessary ban created by the local government, but now that's over and I'm back. I hope you missed me. Let's see how many people are watching. Oh, only one person is watching. Well, this has to be expected. What can I do? 6 people are watching. Okay. And the chats are coming up. First time chatter. Jai Sema says hello. Swirl Beast 54. Hello. Thomas Strimpel, all-time YouTube friend. Hello. We got all sorts of nice stuff for you. And I'll just wait for everyone to get in and get ready. Then we will be in business. Yes. If you're just starting to watch this channel, please consider donating to me on the outlets shown above. Patreon, Buy Me a Coffee. Zonezia, first time chatter, says frog. Hello to you too. Please call all your friends, everybody you know on your WhatsApp or Discord or whatever you kids use these days, because we're gonna do some nice drawing here. And prior to this stream, we had always been doing surreal paintings because they're easier and more fun. Surreal paintings like this or like this. By the way, I scored an amazing cachet of basically used underwear packaging from a certain lingerie shops I work with. And these are the greatest stuff to paint with watercolors on, so they're nice. Thomas Strimpel says, are you still taking creature commissions on Patreon? Yes. Subscribe to me on the $150 tier, and I have open slots and I can paint you anything as long as it's not too gory or illegal. I don't like doing porn or gore. Nude Flood says, no streams on YouTube anymore. I might do them, but on YouTube now I realize it's more fun to do like videos with actual teams, you know? And in the last week I released a video on giant sponges, another video on, oh God, what was it even about? It was a big one too. Another video on this very rare Pennsylvanian cryptid, the Frog Lord. And just today, actually, I released a big new video on the world of dinosauroids I created with my good friend Simon Roy. I still might do Q&A streams on YouTube, but, you know, we also do Q&A here as I draw, so yeah. Okay. How many people are in the house? Can someone give me a count? And after I take the count, we can start drawing this bad boy. Let me also tell you about, so whenever I have disposable income, I walk around and try new watercolors and art supplies. 9 people, okay. Hello, all 9 of you. I try new art supplies and usually they've been great. I score these like really nice Chinese watercolors, these yellows and this particular sap, this leaf green, they're really nice. I also recently scored these Russian gouache paint, which are really great. They have a propensity to mold up, as you can see. Mold, mold, mold. Here looks like a used flashlight inside, but these paints are also really good. Plus, our family cat who inhabits this house has unfortunately gone blind with age. So it just keeps screaming and screaming. It's alright, it keeps eating, drinking, shitting, pissing, pisses all over the place. But it's really sad, and unfortunately these might be the last days of Anneannem, Kadrina the cat. Poor thing. Anyway, so this was good, but then recently I made another purchase. These early 2000s or maybe late 1990s Marie's watercolors made in Shanghai. And to use an unfortunate term, I really got shanghaied with these, because these are like the most awful watercolors I ever used. They look really nice, but 5 of them were frozen and rusty anyways. They were unusable. The rest, they're very hard and they don't feel like watercolors. And it's okay if they're hard, but they don't feel like gouache either. And all of their colors are like muddled and kind of gimmicky and like don't blend well. Like it is like a stain, I don't know. So yeah, come stain watercolors, too bad. Well, don't trust this brand. Although the packaging and the logotype is beautiful, Marie's was not a good bet. Matthias Garay says, do you like fishing? I did it today, it was good. I like it, but it's been a while since I ever went fishing. I usually do this when I go out to the seaside, and I like turning rocks over and basically looking at tide pool life. I don't like fishing too much because you have to, like, unless I'm going to eat the fish, which I don't, there's no use hurting those animals. So today we are going to create some alien creatures. We're going to draw them for my good friend Simon Roy's Altamira world building project. Let's just go. And if you notice, there's a very faint outline. That's not a coincidence, because I usually sketch these at a smaller size. I sketch them like so. I mean, like this. And then I pick something that looks good, like, I don't know, this or whatever. And then I enlarge it, then print it on 10% transparency on paper. And then I go to town with it using just regular pens and stuff. So here we go. And prior to this show, we had always done surreal art, which is really fine and fun. But I really miss doing figurative creature art, so we're gonna get some of those now. Hello, how are you doing? Says Blake Richardson. I'm doing well, thank you. Where's everybody hailing from? Nude Flood says, gonna watch some of them urban exploration videos. Lovely. So we are now doing a creature that looks like a Chinese dragon. I also nicknamed this the Chinese dragon creature, although it's smaller than a Chinese dragon. It's probably like less than 6 feet tall, long, but yeah, a nice sort of creature. And I hope you'll have a chance to see how my illustration process works for these naturalistic organisms. Since this is going to be a pseudo-arthropod, there's going to be swollen spaces around the joints, like so. Okay. Now we move in with a smaller pan, like a hotel pan. I'm really happy with this camera setup, by the way. It's a little dark and muddled. Also, let me hear a Cosmonite roll call. Where are you all from? Which part of the world are you all from? Let me know so we can high five each other. I'm using the Artline, which is a great outline tool. So this thing has jaws, but they're actually very modified legs. So I'm just gonna make that apparent. And this is the abdomen here, like a spider's abdomen. The rest of the body is kind of soft. Blake Richardson is from Michigan, USA. Thomas Trimple is from Texas, USA. Hello to my American friends. And Gisema is from Antalya. Lovely. My shout out to the Lycian shore. Is it warm in Antalya? I hope so. Okay. So let us assume these are used for prey capture. So the tip is kind of sharp, like the beak of an eagle. And then there's some like knowing serrations here, like so. One, two, three, four. One, two, three, four segments, yes. Now I'm gonna leave a marker here, reminding myself to basically duplicate these jaws, because if I draw them again by hand, they'll be a bit unwieldy, but if I just duplicate them in post-production, then they'll look more sightly. So I did this thing here, so I'm just repeating it on the other segments, just sort of getting my mind used to the idea of a segmented creature. So now I'm defining the leading edge of the legs. So I'm just doing that, just going back and forth and servicing the anatomy, so to speak. Gisema says, we barely get winter here, just a week or so, then it's mostly calm. Okay. Yeah, I loved visiting Antalya in New Year's. I loved visiting Çıralı, Antalya, also known as Olympos, in the first year of the new year, first day of the new year. But now the prices are through the roof, so nobody can afford to be mobile anymore. So sad. All right. So this creature is gonna be like a fake arthropod, so it's gonna have like slightly arthropod-like joints, but it's gonna be implied that these things do not molt and grow. So we're kind of like treading halfway between a jointed appearance and a sort of more vertebrate-like, fleshy appearance, basically. Thomas Strimpel says, what are your thoughts on Dune Part 2? Oh, I love that film. Really loved it. I mean, there wasn't a single bad thing about it. Some people say it's too dragged out, but no, actually, that like immerses you in that world. The whole Harkonnen weird fetish bad guy was just like darkly amazing. Costumes, creature designs, vehicle designs, dialogue. It was beautiful, and I'm already thinking about going again. So, yeah. Lovely film, and some people have reservations because of the lead actor, Timothée Chalamet, like, what's his name? I can see how he comes across as a bit smug, but that actually works to his advantage in the film because you see a darker side of his character, and like you really don't see Timothée Chalamet. When you watch the film, you see just Paul Atreides. So yeah. The base Gnome's Child says, I heard Twitch got banned in Turkey. Yeah, it was like a temporary ban, ostensibly against money laundering. But then I guess all the Gen Z kids rebelled, so the ban was revoked. Usually these things used to be far harsher. I mean, like YouTube itself was banned for nearly 5 years or 3 years. And it's just how these things operate in this part of the world. Everybody wants a cut, if you know what I mean. Gisema says, I read the whole Dune series and I love it. I wasn't sure if the films could do it justice, but I think I'm going to check them out. You should. The films are really great. And just for posterity, I unfortunately haven't read the Dune series, but I just might now. So I'm just getting these like kind of convoluted Baroque foot structure. So this is going to be a digging leg, so it's going to have like a wider muscle attachment here. This is semi-digging, semi-running, so kind of like a more sculpted attachment here. And this one is just going to be for running, so far thinner with maybe a process like this one, but certainly not like this one. And then this is like the major running leg, but it also supports the creature sometimes when it's kicking with these things. So this is going to have like a stronger quote unquote heel attachment. So yeah. Like when you're drawing creatures with multiple legs, you really need to go back and forth and like service the limbs individually. So now there's a nice game to play. Since this creature has lots of legs, maybe the last one could be free to use as a weapon or like a mating support or whatever. So this thing is like always carried in the air, and it's just like a big thing with claws used to kick. So it goes like chat. If you mess with this creature too badly, it's gonna kick your face in. So yes. So now let's service the individual body segments like so. Let's just give it a bit of a sort of textured appearance because, well, this is a living animal. So there. Then going another round with the outlines. Because, you know, remember the belly is facing the ground, so there's always more shadows there. So these lines need to be thicker. And most of how alive an animal or a creature is going to look on paper is going to come down to the thickness of the lines. If you fix these right, you can get a Oops, sorry. If you fix these right, you can get a really, oh no. You can get a really nice effect. Yeah, okay. I just got bigger because I want to show you how this looks like on the big screen, which is connected to the better camera, unfortunately. Nice, huh? What do you think about the drawing so far? Let me know. Okay. Here we go. Back to work. Please also look at Simon Roy and consider supporting him on Patreon too. He's a great pal, and unfortunately, I hate paywalls, but in this day and age, every penny helps, and your support makes my life possible. So yeah. Turns out I imagined it upside down. The mouth is at the bottom, but I'm loving it. No, this is the mouth. This is the mouth. This is the head. It's basically like a kind of like a fox with many legs that runs around, and a kicking rear leg assemblage. Okay. So this thing I'm using is like a random ass hotel pen, like so. The thing with these pens is sometimes the ink runs slow. So if you just do like a very, very light shading, it can actually work like a thin shader. And that's the effect we're using here. You can do little circles to imply a more complicated surface. Now, unfortunately, Simon Roy had provided a complicated guideline set for how these creatures operate, but I haven't really looked up how they breathe, so it's time to play some games. Maybe the nostril is here on this segment and here on this segment. So like just kind of holes here and there. But maybe on this segment, the nostril has been changed into something like a mouth, so it can go here, so there's a flap here. So yeah. Yes, looking very good. Thomas Strimpel says this creature reminds me of a Chinese dragon crossed with a dragonfly larva. Nice. But it's quite big, so like I think this would be the size of a cat next to it, Yeah, this is the scale right here. First time chatter, Jack Bobro. Oh, this is my good friend Jakub Bobrovics. Yes, he's a great artist too. Hello. Great to watch you drawing an alien. Gonna learn a bunch from your process for sure. Thanks, man. Also, should I share your Twitter handle with people so they can visit you too? Let me know. So now we're moving in with like the fine, really fine art pen. I spent a little money for this, but it's worth it. The 0.5, very fine shader. Since Jakub is new here, I'll just repeat my message. When you're doing multi-legged animals, always share the same details of anatomy. Like always work on the same details of anatomy on different legs. So I'm doing these like shin crests here to highlight its musculature. How many people watching? Let me check. Let me also check some messages, so just a second. Eight people, okay. Times where we used to have 60 people, 70 people, but yeah, we have a like nice little campfire group of friends. Which is great. Oops. Back at it. Okay, so now let's just get the finer details of the legs done. So I'm using a darker shade on the lower parts of the legs just to like hint at, because a limb is uneven, like there's like bulges and stuff, so I'm just hinting at those bulges and stuff with these dark lines. Okay. So now here's the real question. Like this is a false arthropod. Like, I think this thing has like some sort of internal support, but I want it to look like an arthropod. So these joints we're just gonna like draw like so, and then maybe the bottom will be like the shin or whatever. It's gonna be like a bird's leg a little. And even though we're doing like very precise stuff, you should never be afraid of like going all in and making raw details. Once again, let me just grow this window and show you the real deal here. Show you some close-ups of the line work. Who is drawing as I am drawing? Let me know. Jakub is drawing too. Yes. Blake Richardson is drawing too. Gisemma is drawing too, I guess. Thomas Schrimpel is doing homework, but he will be drawing too. Jakub Bobrovic says, I've always been working digitally, but I realized the value of traditional materials. I love drawing with pens, not a fan of pencil. Well, okay. This is my subjective opinion, but I'm really glad I started investing myself in traditional media from a very young age, because especially now with the prevalence of AI and stuff, you're gonna, like, I realized, again, feel free to disagree with me on this, but I realized that basically if you're doing art, at the end of the day, you're like a jeweler. You are creating a physical object. Like, this is a physical object. Like, I can drop it, I can throw it, I can slap it, I can spit on it, I don't care. This is a physical object that will outlive me. I'm producing documents and physical objects that carry a sense of beauty and my sense of aesthetics. And like, people can frame this, they can store it, whatever. Even if you work digitally, I think you must take prints and like store them. You can use a stamp like so. Boom, branded. And sign your stuff. Always sign and date your work. You're in the business of physical objects, creating physical objects. And even if you work digitally, you're still gonna have to take physical prints, in my humble opinion. But yeah. Jakub says, I used to be very concerned with precise line work, but then I realized messy, loose lines look more organic. They look more lifelike, because in life there are no lines. Like, here's a line, but it just happens to look like a line because my sweater is black and the background is white. Here's a line, it just happens to look like my jawline because, well, God has given me a nice jawline, but it's also a bit hazy. Like, how do you draw this face? Do you do straight lines? Like, if I'm drawing my face, do I do straight lines like this? Or do I kind of do something like several superimposed lines, just I don't know. Anyways, let's go back at this monster. Let's go work. Let's get to work. This drawing isn't gonna draw itself. So now I'm doing a kind of hint of a twisting, maybe muscle underneath the limb. And now I'm doing these like squiggly things between the segments to indicate how they bend and stuff. Yeah, this was a lip, so it's got a kind of sound place here. Yeah, you can give them a lot of warts and stuff. That's cool. How many people? Just let me know. Cheers. 9, okay. I'm making I'm not even gonna spoil it, but a very nice big video is under construction. Let us just say. So now comes the real deal problem. Because these legs have one more segment below them. So we're just gonna have to invent that part. Nude Flood says, spoil a bit. Okay, how? Like spoil what? Spoil the drawing, spoil myself? Jakub Bobrovic says, any updates on the big Snayad book? The Fura Hobby book is apparently finished by master creature artist Gert van Dijk, but he's having trouble finding a publisher. Well, I'm still creating creatures, flying creatures, radially symmetric creatures. I might post some on Patreon actually. There's still a lot of creatures to go. I worked with a model and like one of the big fans of this channel for a scale figure character. I've still got some way to go, but every day I'm working on Snayat, believe me, every day. Oh, Nude Flood wants spoilers on the big video I've been talking about. Look, for a number of months I've been talking about a big upcoming video about a field guide to dreams, and that is also coming up. I even have the outline ready here. Dreams and shit. But this is becoming a bigger thing than I expected, okay? So it's just branching out and out and out. So it's just like, ooh. So this is still in development, but another big video is coming, and I'm worried that if I give any hint of what this is about, I'll jinx that too, so no spoilers. Okay, now let's draw. Actually, let's shade this kicking claw. So this is like a gnarly, like serrated kind of claw. It looks like this, full of scales, just very rough in texture. I wonder if I could attach a lens here to make this camera look more focused. Oh no, it works the exact opposite way. I don't know, maybe I could do something about this. Because I'm really not happy with the slightly unfocused effect we get here. I could raise it a bit higher. Okay, a bit sharper. But then you lose all the details, but yeah, let's stay this way. Spinonicus Art says, oh my god, hi Mr. Kozman. Hi Spinonicus. I draw faster when you guys are looking. I think in my heart I've always been an exhibitionist. So now I'm gonna do a little trick. So there's gonna be two of these claws. But one of them is gonna be extended, like so. So we can see maybe this thing is giving a hefty kick, or just it just happens to move that way. So this is the second kicker leg extended like so. We are gonna go in with a black marker. Nude Flood says, I got hospitalized the last time I was being watched doing something. Oh my God. I hope you... Well, look. A number of people I know and love have been having health problems. I hope things go out well for you. But why were you hospitalized? Was it like a medical thing or an anxiety thing? If you want to share, that is to say. By the way, trivia, this particular black marker, the Copic marker you see here, my father and I purchased this in 2001. So this marker is 23 years old. It's still working. The trick is to store it horizontally. Don't store them vertically. If you have to carry pens, carry them with the tips pointing downwards. So yeah, I love this one. And these are refillable too, so I'm gonna get a refill for this. It's got emotional value at this stage. Spinonicus says, the marker is older than I am. To be that young. You don't know how lucky you are. So here there's a little mistake, but that's okay. We're gonna use the paint marker here, like a Tipex correction pen almost. Oh shit, the cap flew off. So yeah, these white acrylic paint markers, they are very good for correcting mistakes when you're just drawing in black and white. Let me actually show you how this thing looks now. So feast, drink it in, everybody. This is our Chinese dragon creature kicking with its rear leg. But yeah, we still have some work to do on this. Oh, no. Spinonicus says, honestly, insect-looking aliens are my favorites. Well, that makes two of us. Let's check some messages. 11 people watching on Twitch. Great. Can you hear the cat? Porting. Okay, let's draw the 4 feet now. Oh, no, not with this one. So this is more dedicated to digging than anything else. So it's gonna be like this. There's always a bulbous section. This can dig as well as run. So this, like so, but with a smaller claw. Now this is a purely running leg, so actually this section is gonna be recessed into that notch like so. And it's gonna be just purely a running thing. And this one is a kind of broad earth gripping like main thrust leg kind of stuff. So yeah. Now we're gonna cheat a little. Oh, first time chatter. Ex Dutrina says, good evening. Good evening. Wherever you are hailing from, welcome to CM Kozman's Creature Art Show Extravaganza. Oh, here we go. So we're gonna cheat a little in post-production. These legs, I'm just gonna duplicate digitally and move them around like a paper puppet, a paper doll, and then I'll be able to pose them separately. Now, normally I don't do this, but this is a complicated guy, so I'm just gonna bear with me with that. And if you support me on patreon.com, you'll be able to see the finished version too, with colors and everything. So cheers from Brazil, says Ex Dutrina. I've been following you. Nice to catch you here. Nice for you to be with us. It's a lovely Sunday afternoon. Winter is slowly giving way to spring in the northern hemisphere, but it still has some pay. It still has some way to go. Usually around the end of March, winter comes back with a fury. Psst, psst, psst. So just gonna give a kind of like scaly texture to this abdomen here, or this pseudo abdomen, whatever it is. I made a mistake here. These top lines are a bit too heavy, but no need to worry. I got my... This is not the acrylic marker. This is just a Tipex marker. So just gonna edge them. Edging became a naughty term, huh? Just gonna edge them a little. Yes. And let's actually give it some hairs too, like, yeah, some sort of a shaggy abdomen action going here. I'll show you on the close-up cam. Just wait. So this is what the hairy abdomen looks like with the 0.05 pen. I could just do very small hairs. Sneeze coming. Hapşurdum. Okay. Blake Richardson says, bless you. Thanks, man. Thank you. Really means a lot. Here's what the face looks like on close-up. Yeah. This is gonna look really nice on the time-lapse video I post on Instagram later on. So make sure to follow me on Instagram.com/cmkozman too. So now I'm just doing the hooves here. Yep. And this is a big hoof, so this is gonna be really like gnarly. Okay, so these last segments, they're gonna be a bit darker than the rest of the leg, obviously. So we're just gonna do, basically we're gonna take the thinnest pencil possible and just do shading, just do cross lines. I believe the correct term was etching. Not etching, sorry. Just shading. Okay. Oh, lots of nice comments. So, Jacob says, I remember how you. Can you remember how you used to draw as a young child? I remember making stick figure dinosaurs. How did the transition between stick figure and shapes? I never drew stick figures. Like, if you go to my website, go to cmkozman.com slash childhood.html. Let me write it for you. Go to cmkozman.com slash childhood.html and you'll see my childhood art there. Like I was 2 or 3, and the first drawings I was making were actually like weird spirals and stuff like that. I always had like things with volume. I mean, let me get a blank piece here. Okay, the first drawings I ever made, I remember they were like things like this. I like doing spirals and then like stuff like this. I know this because my parents saved them up, and then when I was doing creatures, these turned into things like this, or like something with 4 legs. It always started with silhouettes for me. No stick figures. In fact, only after I started school and I saw all the kids doing stick figures, I was like, EM10 says, I just noticed you're streaming again. I thought Twitch was banned in Turkey. Well, not anymore. It was a short ban. Jim Gisema says, what's the cat up to? The cat is just blind, meowing miserably and playing with her football. It's really dark and grim, actually. It's something that has been upsetting me and my parents greatly, and like, of course, I always appear with next to no reflection of my personal life on stream because I value my privacy. But this is one issue that's really been hurting us. They're talking about maybe having to put it to sleep, but then again, she's also eating and like healthy otherwise. We just hope she can get used to being blind. Now I'm just watching the cat walk over there. It's running into walls like a fucking Roomba. Really, really sad. Did you ever have an experience with a blind pet? Let me know so we can commiserate. Okay. So I'm making a note for myself. Replicate limbs. And then there's also a trick. Basically, you hold the drawing against a light source so you see it flipped. So when you see it flipped, you can maybe realize small mistakes that you don't otherwise get to see, like this here. And let me also draw some like little rocks and debris as if they're kicked up by the creature. Now we're also gonna lay down a shadow field, and this is just like a long edged line like so. So in post-production, I'm just gonna take these shadows and place them below the creature's legs. But I'm not drawing them over the creature now because I don't want it to mess with post-production when I'm posing the legs like puppets later on. So I'm just drawing a long shadow line here. Basically, this is like a model kit. So like you take the pieces out, snap them together, combine them. That's how it works. Blake Richardson says, my cat can't see with her left eye due to an injury. I hope she gets better. Gisema says, my dog is 15 years old with cataract. She's slower and her walk is laggy. At least that's better because the cat here does not seem to be aware of what's troubling it and it's just miserable. Like sometimes sick dogs can at least like keep company, but yeah. Thomas Strimpel says, I had a friend who had a blind dog that would walk around like a Roomba and pee everywhere. Yeah, yeah. Spinonicus says, my cat lived until 18.5 years. Wow. 18 years and a half. Unbelievable. And then in the last months of her life, she was mostly blind. Yeah. Now, this cat joined us in 2006. So, ever since then, yeah. And this is really nice. Like, you're basically laying down fields of shading with your pen. The sort of fine tuning, it's really the most relaxing part of the drawing because now the main heavy work is finished. You don't have to deal with exact anatomical details. What's left is only the details, which are always fun. So I think this is ready now. Let's write our provenance. Simon Royce Altamira. Look, no matter how simple you make things, you always need to write down what they're for, and like text brings art alive. Oh, this pen ran out. Really? Should not have. Wait. Oh, interesting. Okay. Gisema says, I wish you all and the cat the best. Thank you. Much appreciated. Allah razı olsun. Spinonicus says, nevertheless, I think we gave her a good life and a good last year of life. Yes. Actually, let me show you the cat. After signing this, let me show you the cat. Poor thing. Animals are to be envied for two reasons. They know nothing of future evils, nor do they care about what people think about them, said some important guy. Okay, so Simon Royce Altamira, Chinese dragon, kicker creature. And then my sign, CM Kozman, 2023 March 3rd live stream. So you see what we did here. We are creating a document and a physical artifact for basically people to like. This is really important in this day and age. Oh fuck, it's 2024, yeah. Silly me. Oh, then I made all these mistakes too. I have two other drawings here which I'm not gonna show because you have to go on Patreon to see them. But yeah, I signed them 2023 too. Yeah. And then I take my book sign signature stamp. Boom, this is a work file now. And then let's look at the big screen. Here you go. And let me show you from the yeah, this is it. Jakub Bobrovic says nice. Did you see Godzilla -1? No, not yet. I want to. Thanks everybody for loving this. Okay, now feast your eyes on this while I bring the cat over, and then we'll do some interactions with the cat, and after that maybe one more cool down drawing, something surreal maybe, and then I'll call it a night. I'm a bit tired and actually kind of feeling down about the whole business with the cat, so I'll have an early night tonight. So take a look at the, wait, let this stay here. Yeah. Okay. Here you go. Yeah. I know. Look at her. She's adorable. Oh, look at her glassy eyes. Ay. Kadrina. She's just purring. You can't hear, but she's purring. I hope this is not the last it's not the last time you see her on this channel. Gisemma says she's lovely. Her heart is beating. That's the damning thing. Like, she's miserable and shouting all the time. But actually she's all right. I mean, she's healthy. She eats, she shits, she pees, she drinks. So it will be a damn shame. Like, it would be horrible to put this animal to sleep now. Psst, psst, psst, psst. I mean, look, she's got reflexes. She's not in pain. She just keeps screaming because she's lost. I know. Yeah, chat. It's one of those moments. Not everything is rosy in life, huh? Yeah. I know. Hmm. Oh. Hmm. Hmm. Allah bak. Now she's getting frisky. Blake Richardson says anneannem. Let me take a screenshot with the photo booth app, so just wait. Hmm. Okay, let's put her down. On the ground, not put her down like that. Alright, so let's go back to wait, I just need to edit this. Technical stuff, just a second. Okay. Yeah, we're back in the fantasy refuge of art again. This drawing is done from Simon Roy's Altamira. We got a few more below here. You need to be on Patreon to see them and to see the final edited version of this thing. Bada bing, bada boom. Okay, let's make something fun and surreal. I had these nice yellow sheets of paper. I've had these charcoals. So let's draw something with those. Kapama, ben kaparım. İyi geceler. Işık söndürme. So, I don't know. I just don't even know what this is meant to be. Maybe some owl-like apparition. I like this intense schizoid type artwork sometimes. They're really good to unwind. Yeah, this is clearly inspired by the plight of the blind cat. Okay, this is nice, not bad. How many people watching? 16, okay, lovely. Okay, now we need some gouache or watercolor action to move in, so let me actually grab my watercolors. Yeah. I'll get some water too. Okay. Any other questions or comments from your lives? Let's share them with me. I'm here to provide answers. So we got our water spray. Just gonna douse the paper with that, and it's gonna get all these like nice sorts of fragmentation effects. Then we can actually use the Russian gouache here with white. Okay. Goodbye, fake heaven. Na na na. Just adding some bright white highlights for the eyes and also cresting these rays of light or whatever, just to, and you see how this crackling effect appears here. I can't really tilt it. Whoa. Jakub Bobrovic says, I'm trying to lose weight this year. I got a lot of COVID pounds. Well, I'm sure you'll look, half portions are key. And Blake Richardson says, CM Cosman cured my depression. Well, thank you. Look, I mean, a lot of weird shit happens around my life, and like, believe me, I got things to worry about too. But for some reason, I mean, let's not jinx it, but I always feel immune to depression. I don't feel depressed. There are times when I feel really down and sad for long periods of time, and that's normal. But I just let that wash over me, like water off a duck's back. Let's get some more Russian gouache. Let's use the infected paint, actually. I know a few viewers of this channel who'd actually be interested by this texture, let us say that much. And now this is a very delicate thing. We just need to apply this very lightly, very sparingly to a few areas, so it doesn't look like overkill. Then spread it out from there. This looks very like art brut or like raw art, and I guess some of the sadness for the cat's plight is filtering through here. I also have some blue shade pooled over here from that stupid Shanghai watercolors. Actually, they're really bad. So I'm just going to use them for splatter effects. So I'm not going to get them around the halo because I want a sign of light around here, but I want it to be all around the main figure, like a sign of pestilence almost. Oops. EM10 says, somehow I feel like depression might be caused by the idea that it were wrong to be sad. Sometimes people think they should never feel emotions, which puts guilt on top of the sadness. Yes. Look, the whole reason sadness exists is to instill a sense of value in life. You feel sad about something because you value it, it matters to you. It actually works the other way around. So when you're feeling sadness, you're actually ascribing value to things in your life. So this whole like categoric avoidance of negative emotions and sadness, I think it's not right. So now we're gonna do another pass with the heavy white acrylics just over the eyes. And then some white splatter action too over the body. And you see how like, oof. The interaction between water, paint, and the charcoal itself, it's going really interesting. And then we are using this neutral gray shade here. And I mean, this whole color here is annoying me, so I'm just gonna cover that. Yeah, not bad. So now this has to dry. Until it dries, God, I think I lost my hotel pen. Let's put it in water. Yeah, this one came out good. You can also like use your fingers to apply gouache, like finger paint. That's what I'm doing here. Now, under normal conditions, I may go to sleep and then wake up again and work on this painting some more. But, let's get some more blue color action going here. Any more comments or questions? I think it's really nice to unwind with something surreal after, like as an artist, one of the things I'm most proud about is that I can do this, but also this. So it's like what I learn with this filters into that, what I learn with that filters into this, vice versa. And I just feel blessed in that respect for being equal parts a surrealist and a creature artist. So there. Yeah, this pen is totally fucked. Psst, psst, psst. Okay. We also have some yellow here. I wonder how it would look to use yellow on yellow. Probably just gonna use it very little on these bits. Oh. Jakub Bobrovic says another important area is shading below the feet. Yes, I agree. Jakub Bobrovic says, can you point which areas on an animal are most important to be emphasized? I think like you need to share areas, shade areas that are like below and that are dark behind the legs, and always assume the light comes from a certain one side, like either from the left or the right. So you work about it that way, basically. And I have here a very potent form of like blue. Thomas Strimpel says, what inspired this particular artwork? Well, it's the blind cat screaming through the night. But I've been looking at works of like famous artists like Basquiat or Bacon, Sir Francis Bacon, or Lucian Freud. And in those artists, there's this like sort of like extremely layered nuancing that almost feels like the paint formed inside the paper. And I've been trying to get that sense actually. So there's also that. EM10 says, can we ask for really specific creative advice? Yes, please. It's a shame if you don't. Let me check some messages. All right. Load of comments. Should I share my sketch pages on Twitter, says Blake Richardson. Yes, why not? EM10 says, I was making concept art for something I hope to make into a video game one day. And I thought it would be fun to make a witch's house in a boss fight. Which of the following ideas seem more interesting? A hut walking on chicken legs like Baba Yaga's house, or one carried by an enslaved giant, like Atlas mixed with Slavic myth. Well, I think it depends on the game's concept. I think the sort of chicken legs idea will always remind people of Slavic folklore. So I would go for the chicken legs because a giant is like tall and vertical and it's not really suitable for a side-scrolling platform either. A chicken could be like, it could work sideways, left, right, and like look better in a sideways scrolling format. Plus, there's something about giants that I just don't like. Just like tall man. Okay, so what? Disappointing as this might seem. Jakub Bobrovic says, are you familiar with Elden Ring, Dark Souls? Sorry, no, I've never played any of those games. Would love to, though. Just layering these eyes. There's absolutely amazing creatures ring in Elden Ring. Oh, I do remember a bogleech.com article about those, and I think those are really cool. I might look into it someday. I just don't have enough time. So anyways, everybody, this seems to be almost complete. So now we're putting the lid on it. An hour and a half. I'm a bit tired. I think I'm just gonna sign this and stamp it and then be ready to call it a night. So if you got any last comments or questions, let me know. So tonight we had one realistic creature and one fantastic creature. Actually, let me show this to you on the big camera. Yep. Boom. Nice, huh? Look how good it looks with the orange background paper and the reddish shading and the... Oh, now it's crying because I've been draining it. Oh, nice. Oh, the creature cried. Whoa. Freaking hell. Yeah, this painting was cursed and maybe we used it to exorcise some demons and stuff, but look how it is now. I'm not even gonna attempt touching these tears. They're just so beautiful and accidental. And yet, cool unplanned detail, says Soup Master. Exactly. Now this is something you would never in a million years get with digital art. You see? Now this is like art with a capital A. And let me just also say, Blind cat painted during live stream. That's that, everyone. Okay, I'm just slowly packing up, but thanks for joining me tonight. A lot of my art is done traditionally, then colored digitally, says Blake Richardson. Yeah, likewise. I mean, for me, the creature art is always drawn by hand and then corrected and shaded and colorized digitally. So, best of both worlds. Good night, everybody. This has been CM Kozeman. If you're listening to this or if you're watching this on YouTube during the repost, please subscribe to me on Twitch. Please consider supporting me on Patreon. And if you're already a supporter, maybe why don't you get me a cup of coffee from buymeacoffee.com. Goodbye for now. Boom.